Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Γεια σου, Σοφοκλή.
Γεια σου, Νικολέτα.
Τι κάνετε, πώς πάει?
Μια χαρά, εσύ?
Ωραία.
Με μένα γελάς?
Καθόλου.
Θα τη βγάλω τη μάσκα, εντάξει, θα τη βγάλω τώρα.
Είσαστε κι άλλοι εκεί?
Εμείς είμαστε στο σχολείο, αλλά γενικά, ξέρεις, οι χώροι είναι ανοιχτοί. Δεν είμαστε σπίτι, ας πούμε.
Βέβαια.
Και γενικά έξω είναι υποχρεωτικό η μάσκα παντού.
Εμείς ήμασταν έτσι εδώ από την αρχή, δηλαδή από το καλοκαίρι. Από όταν επιτράπηκε τέλος πάντων να βγούμε, η κατάσταση ήταν αυτή.
I see Jean-François is here. Hello, Jean-François,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Sophocles. Hello, everybody.
How are you?
Well, I am very excited to do this.
I think it's something that we have to do. I mean, after all these years of work, it's a very nice opportunity to present all these things that we have done. So.
Yeah, it's cool. You have the in-world situation behind you. Wow, wonderful.
Yeah, I'm in world.
Yeah. The real is inside the virtual. And
Exactly.
I love that.
You know, we had once we had a big project with it was with Philips. It was called Metaverse.
Yeah.
And the concept was how you can really connect real world virtual worlds and the web. So
cool.
This was the developing standards for let's say achieving that. So it was a very nice project.
Cool.
Many years ago.
So Sophocles, now you're broadcasting in the virtual world as well?
I'm going to share, let's say, we will start with Jean-François. We will enter 10 minutes before the start. So we will enter to the conference center and I will make the opening from there. I hope in the future there are more speakers who are, let's say, interested to do that. It's really very nice, you know. And as now, in fact, Jean-François is the developer of this.
That's very exciting. I mean, Sophocles, I wanted so much to try it because it's really interesting how it creates the sense of presence, which is important.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially at the time of the pandemic, at least you are not afraid.
Exactly.
Being infected, let's say. So it's really a very good tool. But we are developing this since I think 2006, 2007, Jean-François, no?
Yes, 2006, yeah.
It's 14 years old infrastructure, in fact.
That's impressive, eh? And I think now it's a good time to use it because given the circumstances.
If you have time to go around, by the way, we will have a session tomorrow because we are presenting the projects of the schools that were involved in OSOS in Second Life.
Okay.
But let's say the idea was, in principle, you have a piece of land where you can construct whatever you like, and for every project that we have run in the past, we have a specific space.
Oh, okay.
So we have an area with telescopes, so you can observe the sky from there. We have an area for, let's say, a music classroom for teaching music. We have a science park. We have even underground an accelerator for particle physics.
That's amazing.
So everything is involved, thanks to the great work of Jean-François, of course.
You're welcome.
And, you know, Jean-François is located in a nice chalet in Switzerland.
Not
on
virtual.
On the top of the mountain. So he has really very creative ideas there. You know, wakes up in the morning, see the Alps, and create nice things. So
the physical space really matters and can be a very, very good inspiration.
Yeah, that's important, of course.
So, Sophocles, how is this going to happen? Those of us who are in Zoom, who will be able to see your opening statement through the virtual world, through the website.
Yes.
Wow, and that's really exciting.
I'm going to share. I'm going to share my screen, so you will have the full experience.
Excellent,
so this is what we are going to do.
Okay. So,
hello, Sandra. Welcome.
Hello. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you very much for being with us this afternoon.
Yeah, well, I'm very happy about it that I had a chance to participate. Unfortunately, only online. I would be very happy to be able to come to Athens, but well, next year.
Next year. We owe you a social dinner.
Yes.
Sophocles, at some point I tried to share a screen. Maybe it's not the time for us to have the rights, just to let you know that it says that the host has not given me participants.
Yes, Nikos has this moment now. He's sharing the website of the conference. Let's say the process is going to be the following. We will start, let's say, of course, you can participate in the discussion as, let's say, we will be at the lobby of the virtual conference center. I will discuss with Jean-François about the posters of the schools and so on. And we will enter to the conference room. I will say a few words about the long history of open classroom conferences. I think it's a 22 years old initiative now. And then Jean-François is going to say a few words about all this development work that he has done, and he's going to invite participants to join our place in Second Life during the next 2 days. And then I will give the floor to our president, Sandra, to address to the conference. And after that, Nikos will chair the session, and we will have the keynote talks. I will need to leave about 30 minutes before the end of the session, because we are also immediately after the opening. We are have a observation night with the students. This is organized, let's say, from our students here. So we are going to transmit live also from the observatory. So I have to move from my office to the observatory and work with the students to make the final preparations. So
that's a nice initiative, Sophocles. I hope I will be able to join. But do you have a clear sky, or it's not important?
It's very interesting that, of course, this was also the weather forecast. We have seen that. Although we had very bad weather the whole day, now the sky is becoming more and more clear. So we hope that we will be able to give the live picture of Jupiter and Saturn tonight to the participants.
That's great. That's great.
So it's the work of the astronomy club of the school, and we thought it's good to offer them the opportunity to.
I think that's a great idea, and also for the conference participants.
To present their work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great, really. Really good. Student engagement is very important, but the astronomic part is always very nice. Okay, I just wanted to ask, I will be able to share the screen for my presentation, yeah, when I start?
Yes, of course.
Good.
I will stop sharing, and then you will have the opportunity to share your screen.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Hello, Sylvia. I think the sound is a bit low.
Let's see how. Is it better now?
Yes.
It's okay. Okay, it's okay for me also. Okay.
Welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us.
I thank you, all of you. Thank you very much. That's good. So I was a little bit stressed. I made some errors with the time, but it's okay now. Everything is okay. Would you like to check if I am able to share my no, start video, nothing, to share my screen? Would you like to check it? Can you hear me?
At this moment, I think Nico, is this possible?
When you will be ready.
Of course, I will stop sharing my screen, and we can have. I will make you. I have make you all co-hosts, so you can have access to sharing your screen.
Okay.
A moment.
Okay, we are waiting. We are here.
Okay.
Okay.
You have the possibility on the bottom, the center bottom, to share your screen.
This is it. Can you see it? Can you see it or not?
No. For the moment, no.
Why? Share screen. My screen.
Okay.
This is not the correct. I would like to see, now.
Now
yes.
Is okay now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you see? Okay. Okay, so you can see. So you can see it better now. Okay. Okay. It's up to you. I am okay.
So shall I go next then, just to make sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Nicoleta.
Is it visible now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, I'll stop sharing. That's always a challenge, eh? I don't know how to do it. Stop sharing. Because it's in a different place every time.
Yes, and in a different tool.
Yeah.
Zoom to Teams and WebEx and whatever. Καλησπέρα, Νικολέτα.
Καλησπέρα.
Μη σε μπερδεύει το όνομα. The name is...
sounds Greek, eh?
It sounds Greek, yes. Hello. Okay. Just to understand that I cannot... I know I can speak Greek. Since I am Greek.
the name does not,
not at all.
Give a hint. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
So, Jean-Francois, I'm going now to share the screen, and we will continue in Word.
Okay.
So I hope you can see us in the world.
Hello.
So this is the conference center of Ελληνογερμανική Αγωγή, and we have let's say we have prepared this area for tomorrow, because tomorrow there is a session where the Greek schools that were involved in previous open schooling project are going to present their work in order to give a feeling of what an open school environment is. So we have worked together with Jean-Francois for a long period in order to prepare all these things. Nikos is coordinating all this effort also. So we will go around to have a look about the area. So I will go out for a moment. I hope you can follow me.
Yeah, no problem. I am just behind you.
Oh, okay. So here is let's say the main building of the school, and let's say we are developing this for quite long period. Jean-Francois is going to speak in a few minutes about that. And in principle, we have tried to transfer the whole feeling of the school environment in world. So in fact, this is not the first conference that we are organizing really also in Second Life. There were other events also in the past, and this is giving really a nice feeling. As we said, this is quite old. We have started developing this about 14 years ago. Here is the registration office.
It's real, eh?
Yeah.
So for Claire, are there any speakers presenting from the world?
No, unfortunately, no, Nicoletta. Our hope was that you will do it, but no.
I'm sorry. But I was thinking, like, yeah, if it was going to be challenging, or what it would take.
Let me show you. So, Jean-Francois, we can go inside, I think.
Yes, no problem. No, you just have to download the software, and it's free software.
You have to create really the avatar, yes.
and you make your avatars, and after a while you are inside and you can visit everything, and also use all the interactive tool that there is around. It's simple. We have tried with Elino Germanici to make simple things, very simple tools for interact with the device, to enter to speak, and to have some immersive experimentation of virtual world. As you can see, it's really like a normal conference room with attendees, and people can sit, have a look on the screen, etc., etc. I'll let Sophocles taking his place to the desk.
Yeah.
I make some comments in order to let you find your place. And voila.
It's nice because you can actually see people. I mean, when you're presenting, it's a little bit weird because it's you and your screen, and it's sort of...
Yes, it's a little bit confusing, yeah. But this is a big interest of virtual world. It's this immersive impression. This is the goal of all the work we do since years and years with Elino Germanici and the team of Sophocles. It's to make something very immersive and near reality, not too close, but near reality, in order to feel confident with the tools.
Yeah, in principle, it's like making a presentation, because the screen, for example, in front of us is an interactive board. You can present there the website, you can present there the PowerPoint, and so on. So in principle, you have the opportunity to interact. Instead of using Skype, for example, to discuss with Jean-François, we are using this world. So it's a different tool, let's say.
Yeah. I have to say that it's really nice and convincing, and now I regret not finding the time to try it beforehand. But I think I'll join tomorrow, and I try to make like a question from the world and see what happens.
Yeah. We will wait for that. So okay. Maybe also during the presentation of the Greek schools. By the way, Nicoletta, it would be really nice to to have someone from Selfie, because this is really very important to have a discussion with them. Mm-hmm. So if you have some time to attend this session.
I do, Sophocles, because I saw your agenda and your program. It's really exciting. I mean, it's so interesting. So yeah, I've been planning for this.
Yeah, so it's really the work of the schools, and also we have also an award ceremony on Sunday, because last year we had really serious problems to organize this. Especially we are organizing numerous contests every year, so it was really very difficult to organize a real ceremony. Even now we don't have this possibility, but this area here is just giving a feeling of say, like being there. So Nico, I think in 3 minutes we can start. And also, Nicoletta, one last thing, the cooperation between the Second Life and Zoom, or I think also other tools, maybe WebEx and so on, is very very easy. Eh? So you can have at the same time people from, let's say, who want to use WebEx or Zoom or other tools, and to offer this experience also to others. By the way, there is a corner at the other side, as you can see, where we have we can organize a roundtable discussion. So sitting on a sofa, not standing at the podium.
Yeah, I can see it.
Nico, I think there are some people waiting in the waiting room. So I don't know if Yair and Christian have joined already. But I think
these people are.
Hi.
Yes, Sylvia.
Hello.
The auditors who will be able to take a chair in the auditorium and put their avatar there?
Yes, and can follow the event.
Okay, that's nice.
Hello, Christian. Welcome.
Hello. I'm just reinstalling the camera here, hoping that it will work.
Christian.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Very nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
Hello, Sophocles.
Hello, Ferenc. How are you?
Thanks, not bad.
So I think we can start. So I would like to welcome the participants. We have more than 550 registrations for this conference, the Open Classroom Conference of Eden for 2020. This initiative is becoming now 22 years old, so it's a very big effort, mainly organized from Eden and the partners, focusing on the concept of open classroom and open school, an environment that really is able to transmit different wavelengths, interacts with the local community, with research, with different fields. And let's say students learning at the end is the outcome of a shared effort of different stakeholders, not only the teachers, but also many stakeholders who have significant things to contribute to the educational objectives and to the learning outcomes of students. So it is my pleasure to welcome you to this virtual conference. We had the chance to organize this event, let's say, at the same time on Zoom. It's being transmitted also to YouTube, but also in world. Thanks to the great work of a person that is standing next to me, Jean-François, from a digital broadcasting channel in Switzerland. In fact, he's standing next to me and next to us, next to Ελληνογερμανική Αγωγή for many years. And we have developed together this place, this infrastructure involved that is, let's say, hosting the conference. So I would like to give him the floor for a few minutes to describe all this adventure and this great development effort we have done together.
Thanks, Sophocles. Hello, everybody. I'm very excited to be here inside virtual world to speak to real people around the world. It's very amazing for us because we work in so much time with Sophocles and all the team of Untitled about this area. Inside this area, you see the conference room, but there is also classroom. There is virtual place where you can grow some flowers. We have a place for observation of the sky. We have place for observation of particles. We have many places like this. All are interactive. This is a key word inside virtual world, the interactive tool. You click, you have a reaction, you can play with it, but it's of course a serious play. It's not only just for fun. And it's very interesting because we try to make some immersive experience for the people inside and for the teacher also and for the student. The classroom, for example, we have device. You can broadcast a video inside the device for each student. You can interact with the student. You can talk with the student. You can organize your classroom also. We have a multi-classroom experimentation in world. And as you can see, you can come and assist to a conference after this session, or the Zoom conference is broadcasted on the big screen you see on the room. And of course, the goal is to doing something very immersive. You are like in real, you can share with people, you can discuss, you can interact. It's really an immersive situation, and particularly for design, for pedagogical design, it's very interesting. It's a very special work to work in world inside virtual world, because you need so much skills, pedagogical skills, of course, story skills, design skills. Everybody works together in order to make some immersive scenario. It's very important to understand that it's a sort of platform for different skills. Also, the teacher love to work inside virtual world, because if you have an idea, you can build it. We can help for that, of course. We have, for example, the Foucault pendulum just near the conference room. It's very interesting because you can take the place of the observer inside an animation. There is video around explaining the Coriolis effect, and it's really interesting because it's like going outside the classroom but staying in this classroom with the teacher and the student. It's very, very interesting. It's years and years. It's very fascinated and very excited to work with a school, because we exchange many ideas. I love when Sophocles call me and say, hey, we have a problem. How can we do something about pendulum of Foucault? And I say, okay, let us think about, and we build something. But also the conference room is it's a key, and it's a very important place, because as you can see, the people are here. They watch and they share an event inside the same place. It's not like Skype. We seem very far away. Here we feel the presence of the other attendees, and it's a very, very nice situation. Of course, it's needed a lot of work, yes, but all the tools, actually, all the software need a lot of work and skills, as everybody knows here, I think. And we are very proud to show you this, and we hope that you come and you try it. It's very, very simple. You have just to download the program, the software, and after you subscribe, you make a beautiful avatar or not. You can choose. It can be a big avatar, an ugly avatar, no matter. And after you go inside and it's open, you can visit everything. You can interact with every tools that we have created, and it's very, very simple. It's not complicated. You have just at the beginning a little bit disappointed because you need to walk inside the virtual world, and it's sometimes it's a little bit tricky, but in 1 hour, less than 1 hour, you can fly, you can walk, you can run and visit all the things around. Don't hesitate to use the link that we provide, and you are very, very welcome. If you want to make some experimentation or have ideas to develop, don't hesitate. I think we are not in the future with this tool. We are just here now, and all the situation in the world show that we are here now with this kind of tool, because we need to share more and to feel the presence of the real human that we need every day and we need to communicate with.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jean-François. really, really amazing. And as Jean-François said, there is a link, a direct link on the website of the conference on the homepage to visit directly the area. There are many things that you can explore in the whole area around the Germanic Iagogi School. So with this short intro and let's say trying to give some ideas of a possible future educational environment that is active also during the pandemic, when the schools are closing, we can still continue delivering some quality educational services through these tools. I would like to give the floor to Sandra Kuzina from the University of Zagreb. She is the president of EDEN, the European Distance Education Network. That is the key, let's say, organization behind the open classroom movement. So it is a great honor for us to have Sandra with us to address the conference. I will stop sharing my screen and Sandra has the floor.
Thank you, Sophocles. Thank you. Just let me share the presentation I have so that I can start. Just give me a second so that. Okay, I hope you can see my presentation now. So hello, everyone, dear conference participants, dear organizers, dear presidency, dear Sophocles. I'm glad that in the name of EDEN, I'm able to say greetings for this year Open Classroom Conference. I'm very happy that the circumstances enabled although not physical, but virtual conference. And if I knew that Second Life is on, I would try to refresh my avatar because it's been a while since I was in Second World. But I'm very happy to see that you provided Second World for this conference. Yeah, my avatar was a very young person, so it should have been mature now, but I still have a time for these next 2 days to make it alive again. So I'm very happy that the Elino Germaniki Agogi is organizing again this year this Open Classroom Conference, and we at EDEN see our Greek partners and want to support them to enable them to organize such valuable initiatives as Open Classroom Series. We are all facing quite challenges these days. So from the beginning of this year, we are facing the pandemic crisis, which has affected not only the education, but all aspects of our life. I will just, in my presentation, briefly come to say how can EDEN as an organization can help and contribute in this situation. I don't know if you're aware that EDEN is almost 30 years old organization. We exist to share knowledge and improve understandings among professionals in distance and e-learning. To enable the sharing and practice across the whole of the Europe and beyond. And when we were faced with this pandemic crisis, I can say that it was the biggest disruption in education in history. And actually, the possibilities for online education, for distance education, actually saved the chance that students are still having some learning possibilities. Definitely, with this disruption, with this crisis, I would say the millions of students were deprived of going to school, to have learning possibilities. And let's not forget the schools are not places for education, but also are places of care and nurturing as well. And this is important because our children were left alone at home while their parents are working through whole the day, without friends, sometimes without even the meals, and with actually possibilities to attend online, not aware of all the danger which is present online, but also the huge number of students were not even able to attend any kind of online education. Coming from Croatia, I can say that here in Croatia we had really good situation, as our Ministry of Education started with one very important project. It's School for Life and eSchool project, which enabled that schools has started with some kind of digital transformation, and that teachers had training in digital skills. So when we faced this pandemic, mostly schools were prepared for such scenarios. And for those children who didn't have the chance to attend anything online, the collaboration with national television provided continuation of education. But that was not possible, let's say, be honest, for a really huge number of students. Also, we were faced with the overnight change of way of teaching and learning, and not all teachers had skills or idea, at least, how to organize teaching in online environment. In Europe, I would say we are still quite dominantly campus-based, school-based teaching and learning. And listening to the recent research which was done by European University Association, I can say that, for example, 80% of higher education institutions in Europe are dominantly classroom or campus-based institutions. So although blended learning was present and some kind of online learning in a smaller percentage was present, majority of our institutions and teachers were not prepared for the fully online learning and teaching. What we wanted at the beginning of the year was actually to ensure continuation of the education process. And I think that majority of us were able to do that in some way. If we look back at what has been in the first part of this year, it actually showed the fragility of our education process, and some that we need to make changes in way to advance and in that way. Also, I would say that very big focus has been on students and teachers to support them, but still this was not enough. So Eden, as such a professional body, was also faced with this pandemic, and what we were able to do at that moment to help educators and education institutions in crisis. So we were bringing Eden community. We tried to gather the experts, professionals, in order to help educators and education institutions to start doing online teaching and learning. And so immediately, already on March 13, we started with practical webinars in Eden Initiative Education in Time of Pandemic, how to take face-to-face education online, how to focus on day-to-day challenges educators faced. Each week we discussed and looked which topics should be presented in the next webinar, having the feedback from educators and teachers. And I can say that although I work at the National E-Learning Center for Higher Education in Croatia, and we support our teachers for more than 10 years, Croatian teachers really embraced very well such initiative, because it enabled them to feel a part of community, to have a place where they can come, discuss, and hear the best practices, the present issues which were important to them, and that they were surrounded by the colleagues who had similar issues. Also, we thought that it is important that we put our initiative on a larger scale. So we joined the UNESCO Global Education Coalition COVID-19. So in order that we provide and offer all our support to the community. And based on the really good feedback from the participants, we initiated another initiative in autumn, which was called Education in Time of New Normal. And within this initiative, we had 6 webinars. Also, the high number of participants, especially teachers, but also in this initiative, we had also the policymakers, because some of the topic were targeted to the policymakers, attracted a really huge number of peoples, and we were discussing on present issues now after we have been able to ensure continuity of education. Now in autumn, how to proceed, how to now ensure the quality of teaching and learning. And we were also very happy that we had for our last webinar a presentation of Digital Education Action Plan by European Commission. Also, we were faced, as you, with the challenge of how to organize event. And although Eden is like a family and we all are always waiting to see each other at our events, especially annual conference, this was not able, and we moved fully online, but we didn't had this idea of Second Life. Maybe next year we use Second Life as well. So you see from the numbers that it was very important for educators, for researchers, for academic community, for all those involved in education to participate, to be part of such huge networking community, to collaborate on the topic, which is now present and important to all of us. Also, Eden is very much focused on research, and our research workshop, which was now last month in Lisbon, also virtually, attracted, I would say, the highest number of researchers and academics and educators. And we were talking about the topic of enhancing the human experience with learning and learning with technology, something which is definitely the high priority at the moment. And this was the chance that for the presentation of the research for something which is going on. Usually this is not a situation, but this research workshop enabled really for a huge number of researchers to present results on ongoing situation, and based on these results to see how we can improve teaching and learning, which is needed today. At the moment, and this is why I'm having my background, we are having European Online and Distance Learning Week, and it will finish on Monday. We had really a high number of sessions, interested presenters and moderators to participate, to contribute, but also the high number of participants willing to join, to listen, to communicate, to network together, to share. And I'm very happy that this initiative, which is going now for 5 years, has become quite global. At this moment, I think it is of highest importance that we work on a global level. So we have the partnership with United States Distance Learning Association, Open Distance Learning Association of Australia, and Flexible Learning Association of New Zealand. So basically, we joined together all our efforts to organize that educators on the global levels have the possibility to hear experience and know-how from the others, take the best for them and apply in their environment. All our resources all recordings from the sessions, from the proceedings, from our journal, are this available free to everyone. This is our contribution, and I think a very good contribution that people are able to watch and listen to all these recordings and take what is interesting to them, and to get the ideas how to apply digital technologies in their environment. I have already mentioned the new digital education action plan, but I think that the title, Resetting Education and Training for the Digital Age, is something we should focus on, and definitely to work, because it's upon us to see how we can engage and organize that teaching and learning, that education in today's world is something we want to have, that we are creators, but not just consumers of what's available. Definitely at this moment, I think it's time to reflect on potential opportunities for improvement in areas of curricula, students, teachers, educational settings, and above all on the quality of the educational process. And I'm very happy to see that in today opening part, you have the presentation of Selfie as a self-evaluation tool, because I think it's very important for teachers to have time, to find time to self-reflect upon themselves, to what they have been doing so far, how they were happy with that or enraged with that, how things did go and did not go, what to do next, how the students responded, and things like that. And above all, as we are deprived for the physical presence and collaboration, I think that joining professional virtual communities now is of the utmost importance for all teachers, not to feel isolated, not to feel alone, but to be part of the community with whom they could collaborate and share their ideas and reflections. I'm just here, have the slide which has recently been presented on possible scenarios after pandemic, and it was from EDUCAUSE, and although it applies for higher education, I think that schools can also think about that. So basically we have three scenarios: restores, how to get back to things which were before the pandemic. Do we want that? How to evolve, to adapt to new normal, which we have now, or how to transform, to redefine our institution and to create innovative future of education. So something we have to think all about, all of us have to think about. So this is something for you to reflect in the next 2 days. And for the last slide, I would just like to emphasize we have opportunity to plan the future we want now, rather than one we are giving. So let's take things in our hands and do what we want that our future look like, because our children are our future. I wish you all very fruitful and nice 2 days of this conference. Thank you.
Sandra, thank you very much. We really appreciate this very nice intro to the conference and a very strong message at the end. This brings me back, I think it was in 2011 when we have organized the Open Classroom Conference again here in Athens. And at that moment, the country was entering a major financial crisis. And the message at that time was that we have never to waste a crisis. And I think this is the most important thing, especially for education, that after the crisis, we have to become stronger in order to deal with all the challenges and see really the crisis as a chance to improve at different levels. So thank you very much. Now we will have the keynote talks. My colleague Nikos Zigourizas will chair the keynote speaker session.
Hello, I'm very honored to chair this session with four people expert in their own fields. As you know, the main idea of the conference is to explore the idea of open schooling and how an open school can act as an engaging environment that introduces innovation, methodologies, tools, and content to everyday school life by redesigning learning in order to accommodate and include difference, bringing together families, community groups, experts, universities, in order to work and collaborate in an innovative ecosystem. Our first speaker is Sylvia Schipoff. She's a project advisor at the Research Executive Agency of the European Commission. And who better to present the open schooling action in the framework of the Science with and for the Society program. So, Mrs. Schipoff, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everybody. I would like firstly to thank you, and I can tell that I'm also honored to participate to this conference. And I will try now to share my screen. And just a moment, may I have also my, okay, to see all of you and have the screen. How I can do it this? Okay, I will do it. You have my screen?
Not yet. No.
Have you my screen? Not yet. Not yet. It's strange. Okay. Share screen. Here we are, I suppose. Now you have it.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'm Sylvia Schipoff. I'm working as project advisor in Research Executive Agency, and I'm proud that I have some projects. I'm running some projects related to open schooling, and I will start from.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mrs. Schipoff.
Yes.
You have something else open in your computer, and we can see a black spot on the
now.
Because it's the gallery of the Zoom program.
Did I take it out? No, it's okay.
There's another one. Yes, this one that you need to display.
How to put? Is okay there? Okay, I think it's.
Yes. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. The Research Executive Agency? Who we are? The Research Executive Agency is a funding body created by the European Commission in 2007 to maximize the efficiency and the impact of EU research and innovation programs. It has no political mandate and instead focuses on managing research proposals and funded projects. Our mission: our agency supports the world's finance researchers and helps to ensure projects have a tangible impact to tackling societal challenges and boosting European competitiveness. We strive to implement EU research and innovation programs in close collaboration with stakeholders, helping to transform groundbreaking research into solutions that benefit citizens and policy makers. And which is our responsibilities? Under the current mandate, RIA has been managing a budget of 14 billion, delivering substantial proportion of Horizon 2020, the EU's current research and innovation framework program. RIA, from the very beginning, has been supporting research in a number of scientific domains in EU and beyond. Horizon 2020 will come to an end in December 2020, with a new framework program, Horizon Europe, starting in January 2021. RIA also provides support and policy feedback to various directorates general of the European Commission, which are in charge of the policy aspects of their respective research actions. And on this, I have to, in relation with the funded projects, the collaborative, there is a collaborative tripartite structure with clearly defined roles. Who is doing what is really clear. European Commission, and especially for our projects, General Directorate Research and Innovation, and specifically Unit B5, has the responsibility of definition of the policies, is drafting the work program. RIA, my home, my working home, research executive agency, and specifically Unit B5, has the implementation of the calls for proposals. We are running the evaluation and the selection of the best proposals with the help of the best experts in their field. We are running also the grant management, which means we are starting the grant agreement preparation just after the selection of the best proposal, and we are creating the grant agreement. And just after, we are running, we are managing the projects from the very beginning till the end and the final payment. The third party is the coordinator, which is a central contact point for the RIA, represents the consortium of the project towards the research executive agency. As I told, RIA will manage the Horizon 2020 and will run also the Horizon Europe program. In Horizon Europe, RIA will change name. The new name will be ERIA. The European term will be in front of the Research Executive Agency old name, in order to have all the reason behind is in order to have all the European executive agencies starting from the same term, European. So ERIA will receive a growing portfolio in Horizon 2020. This portfolio will receive extra schemes, programs in excellent science, cultural creativity and inclusive society, civil security for society, food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture, environment, reforming and changing the European RNI system, sharing excellence, research infrastructure, agricultural promotion measures, research program from coal and steel. This is on the top of the existing portfolio run by RIA. The Marie Curie projects and SWAPs and widening projects will still continue running in the new framework program. How we arrived to the program of science with and for society. In 2001, the Science and Society Action Plan was launched to set out a common strategy to make a better connection between science and European citizens. May I ask you, can you hear me? Because I receive a message for the system. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Okay. I receive a message that I have a low quality connection. This is the reason I ask. Okay. The Science and Society theme under structuring the era in the sixth framework program became the first ever initiative of its kind of European scale with a budget of 88 million euros. In 2007, under the seventh framework program for research and technological development, Science and Society became Science in Society, with the main objective to foster public engagement and sustain two-way dialogue between science and civil society. Its budget almost tripled to 280 million euros, 183 projects were funded with an average of easy contribution of 1.5 million euros. The ex-post evaluation of FP7 framework program found that future framework programs should involve citizens and civil society organizations more substantially. Following on for this, Horizon 2020 includes a dedicated part of science with and for society. Science education projects produced a range of ready-to-use material for students, online lessons, an online encyclopedia, and a range of applications, and teachers, repositories for toolkits encompassing practical tips to support their teaching. With schools at the heart of science education, a number of projects are developing an open schooling model to facilitate outreach of the local community. A budget of 462 million euro was earmarked to SWAFs in Horizon 2020. SWAFs projects are typically composed of a large consortia with an average of 11 partners and tend to run for around 3 years. Since the start of the Horizon 2020 framework program in 2014, RIA Unit B5 manages the projects. My unit is B5, and we have a strange name for unit, spreading excellence and widening participation, science with and for society. The long, strange name of the unit is because we are running 2 different programs. The program of spreading excellence and widening participation aims to ensure that the innovation capacity of all EU member states converges and improves the spreading of benefits of innovation across the Union. The other program is Science with and for Society. Projects funded under this scheme aim to involve citizens in the processes that define the results that affect their everyday lives. And science education forms the basis of full achievement of the Innovation Union and the European research area. Creative and innovative formal and informal teaching and learning help young people make the best use of their capacities and capabilities to become a force of innovation and to address the challenges faced by young people who want to change careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Horizon 2020 has been financing a range of initiatives to purchase greater participation of young people in science and encourage long-term scientific careers. Our projects include formal settings of science education, like schools, and non-formal, out-of-school teaching settings, like science parks, science museums, and events. I will tell you the story behind this. In 2014, European Commissioner of Research, Science and Innovation, Carlos Moedas, brought together a group of experts. The results of their work was a publication on a 21st century vision for science, for society within a broader European agenda. The publication Science Education for Responsible Citizenship was the result, their report. The different emphasis followed the publication of Science Education for Responsible Citizenship, which made a recommendation on how best to equip citizens with the skills. They need the active participation in the processes that will shape all of our futures. The open schooling call was one of the recommendations of that report. Yes. So for open schooling, claims that collaboration between formal, non-formal, and informal educational providers, enterprise, and civil society should be enhanced to ensure relevant and meaningful engagement of all societal actors, so with science and with science and increase uptake of science studies and science-based careers to improve employability and competitiveness. Encourage open schooling where schools, in cooperation with other stakeholders, become an agent of community well-being. Families are encouraged to become real partners in school life and activities, and professionals from enterprise, civil, and wider society are actively involved in bringing real life project into the classroom. Specific topic 1 of SWAF's call from 2008 to 2020 has been included in SWAF's calls with a project called Coordinator Support Actions. The action calls for collaboration between education provider, enterprise, and civil society to ensure relevant and meaningful engagement to all societal actors with science to increase the uptake of science studies and science careers. Each of this of the founded project has received an average of 1 million euro, but also lower or higher amounts considered. What we expected from this specific call, the challenge behind. We need to expand opportunities for science learning. We know European citizens, young and old, appreciate the importance of science and want to be more informed. Actions calls for collaboration between education providers, enterprise, and civil society to ensure relevant and meaningful engagement of all societal actors with science and increase uptake to the science studies and careers. The scope was activities based on collaboration between formal, non-informal, and informal education providers, enterprise and civil society to integrate concept of open schooling in science education. Schools and other stakeholders become agents of community well-being. Families encouraged to become partners in this school life. Professionals from enterprise and civil and wider society should actively be involved in bringing real-life projects to the classroom. Gender, socioeconomic, and geographical differences should be also considered. And which was the expected impact? Action starts the creation of a new partnership in local community to foster improvement science education for all. A short-term expected impact was the developed partnership between schools, local communities, and local industry. Let's see some of our results. One of our most successful projects was the Open Schools for Open Society, OSOS project. The OSOS project promoted the open school model and supported adhering schools to hub together. The OSOS portal brings together 1,000 schools from different European countries. These schools have been introduced to the open schooling culture and are already involved in numerous related activities promoting the use of open content and open pedagogies, while establishing open cooperation schemes with local stakeholders, industries, and research organizations. The consortium of OSOS project was composed of a total of 19 partners representing 10 European countries: Greece, Finland, Germany, Spain, Netherlands, Bulgaria, Italy, France, Portugal, and Ireland, and 3 non-European countries: Israel, Australia, and USA. OSOS project has successfully finalized in March, at the end of March 2020, and the project coordinator was our host institution today, Ελληνογερμανική Αγωγή. We have several running projects in different topics. Here I will list only. Yes.
You have 5 more minutes. Ms. Schipoff?
Yes, I am okay. Thank you very much for notifying me. Yes. And we have several running projects in different topics, but in relation with topic 1 on open schooling, we have running projects. SEAS Science Education. SEAS is a project on science education for action and engagement towards sustainability. Ferreclus, partnership for pathways to higher education and science engagement in regional cluster on open schooling. On merit, observing a negative Matthew effects in responsible research and innovation transition. OSHub, Open Science Hub Network, which is empowering citizens through STEAM education with open schooling. Cultural Science in the City, building participatory urban learning community hubs through research and activation. Just starting running projects are Connect, inclusive open schooling through engaging a future organic science, Make it open. Most meaningful open schooling connects schools to communities, some schools as living labs. The last project is also coordinated by Germany, and I am the project officer of the two last projects, MOST and SAL. I was happy that I was also involved in the evaluation of these 4 projects listed in this presentation. There's one more completely new call on the topic 24, which is on science education outside the classroom. Science education outside the classroom, which refers to informal science education, and the science education effects on non-educational activities are not well explored in terms of their nature and effects. Acquiring knowledge, and in particular evaluating knowledge, often with the help of internet, is happening in really frequency and should be recognized that for what it contributes to the term of more sophisticated consumer scientific citizenship. Consideration of what is available and what is being learned would be useful to understand for science education outside the classroom influence today's citizens. This is the newest and the last call for 2020. It's currently under the second phase of evaluation, and project will receive funds from 1.3 to 1.7 millions. New challenges. This is my last slide. New challenges. The arrival of COVID-19 has presented challenges and also opportunities for all projects. Travel plans to face-to-face meetings have been severely impacted and replaced with virtual meetings. This means that funding assigned to cover travels and accommodation costs have been saved. In general, the challenge felt by all consortia includes adapting to having to work from home and the additional problems associated with this. An example is having to homeschool school children or child minding. An additional challenge is how to fill the gap between the open schooling and the homeschooling. It's just for inspiration. Here is just some links, and thank you very much for your patience.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Schipoff. Really interesting presentation, and I was honored that you mentioned Open Schools for Open Societies that I had the pleasure to work in, and that Yair was a key partner, and he will demonstrate the work done in Israel. But before that, we have Nicoletta Iannoutsou from the Joint Research Center in the European Commission. And we were very happy to have Nicoletta with us. She will present Selfie as the key instrument to assess schools' readiness and immaturity, which serves very well the focus of our conference regarding self-reflection tools and how we can use them in schools in order to foster innovation openness and immaturity. Ms. Iannucciu, the floor is yours.
Nico, thank you very much for the introduction. I would like also to thank the organizers for the invitation. It is a great honor and an exciting opportunity to encounter for the first time this really amazing community. So thank you very much. I am Nicoleta Iannucciu. I am a scientific officer at the Joint Research Center of the European Commission, which is located in Seville, Spain. I will be speaking about Selfie. Selfie is a self-reflection tool supporting schools in developing their digital capacity. And I will be discussing today, I will be presenting Selfie, and I will be discussing how it can become an instrument to support schools to become agents of change in digital education. What is Selfie? And I would like to say,
Nicoleta, sorry to interrupt you. We are seeing your screen, so yeah, you have to adjust it. Thank you.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay. I will start by explaining what is Selfie. You have realized already that it's not about taking pictures. It is also it's about reflection and self-reflection, and reflection is an integral part of the teaching profession and of the learning process. Selfie, on the other hand, is a free online tool for primary, secondary, and vocational schools. Any school anywhere can use Selfie. It is available in 32 languages. And as I mentioned before, it is designed to support schools to reflect on how they use digital technologies. So what is the essence behind Selfie? Like, what is the key idea? Selfie supports what we say here, shared critical reflection. And why is it shared? It is shared because it involves not only school leaders or teachers, but also students in the process of how digital technologies are used in the classroom and in the school. And it is through this critical reflection that the idea is that the schools can progress and improve and enhance their collective knowledge and competence. Now, Selfie, what it does, it tries to shift the discussion from what technology to use into how to use it, when to use it, why to use it, why use this technology, and also help schools understand where they stand in relation to the use of technologies and where they want to go. Selfie has been based on a digital competence framework, which has been designed with a focus on educational institutions like schools and colleges, with the aim to support them in using digital technologies in a purposeful and effective way. So a little bit about Selfie and who is using it. Up till now, Selfie was launched in October of 2018, and up till now we have more than 7,600 schools, 600 schools worldwide, and we have more than 700,000 users from 58 languages, from 58 countries, and I mentioned that the tool is already available in 32 languages. I will go through very briefly on how does Selfie work, and then I will discuss the key idea behind this presentation, which is the role of Selfie in supporting schools as agents of change. So in a nutshell, Selfie, it's called Selfie because it takes a snapshot of the school's use of digital technology. I mentioned that it is online, it is free, and the people who participate in the schools are anonymous. So what happens when a school decides to take the Selfie exercise? First, the school adapts Selfie into its profile and its needs. The second step is to use Selfie to collect views and experiences from school members, like from the school community, on the use of digital technology. But the whole journey does not stop there, because the key role of Selfie begins after the exercise is completed and the schools receive a report with the results of the answers of the school community. And the idea is for schools to use this report to discuss the results, to see what are their strong points, what their weaknesses, and plan together for improvement. Selfie is not a one-off exercise. It's not something that we expect that schools do only once. It's part of a process. So we expect that schools use Selfie to monitor their progress, rearrange their priorities and adjust their plans. So for example, we would expect that the school might use Selfie once per school year, right? Or maybe at the beginning or at the end of the school year. With Selfie, I mentioned before that we're trying to go beyond what technology to use, and we're trying to have what we call here a 360 degrees approach. We have identified 8 areas in where Selfie focuses, among which is infrastructure. And now with the current health crisis, we realized how digital infrastructure became an instrument for access to education. It's not just an asset of a school. Another example is continuous professional development for teachers, teaching and learning practices, assessment practices, collaboration and networking. And we added, due to the recent phase where schools had to operate online and also in blended mode, we added a set of questions on remote teaching and learning. Now, I will very briefly discuss the step that the school needs to take in order to do the Selfie exercise. First, the school needs to assign a coordination role to one person or a small team to coordinate the Selfie exercise. This means that they will need to register the school, providing very basic information about the school. And that is the first step that they need to take. The next step is to customize the questions. Selfie consists of 3 different types of questions. The first is what we call core questions, and they are obligatory, they cannot be changed. There is a second set of optional questions where the coordinator or the coordinating team will decide which of them will be included in the exercise. And the third set of questions, they are custom questions which can be created by the school. And they are created in order to meet the school's particular needs and profile, because we all know from our experience how different schools are between them. We have calculated that it takes between 20 and 30 minutes for the Selfie exercise to be completed. So after the questions have been selected, the next step for the team is to identify how many members of the school community will take place in the exercise. For example, they need to decide how many students from each year group will take Selfie, and then they will distribute links to the questions per user group. So we have different questions for students, different for teachers, and different for school leaders. Actually, they're not different questions, there's different phrasing of the same question so that the different user group can understand and respond accordingly. I mentioned before, and I want to stress it now again, that participation is anonymous. So when users receive the links, they don't need to log on, they just answer the questions. After the exercise is completed, I have to mention that the school coordinators, they need to decide also the time frame within which the Selfie exercise will be completed, and teachers and school leaders can complete the Selfie exercise on their own time, whereas we suggest that students take the Selfie exercise during class hour. So after the Selfie exercise is completed, the tool presents the school with the results. And here in the middle, you can see an example of the Selfie report. And the Selfie report includes what we call aggregated data. So this means that the school leader, for example, cannot see what an individual teacher or student has responded in the specific question. Instead, they can see the results of all 3 groups here on the left, And on the right, they can see the analysis and the differences between the different three groups, the responses of the different three groups in the same question. I think that the self-reflection exercise begins after the schools receive the school report, and that's the more critical thing, because it's the time for the school community to reflect on the results, discuss, identify priorities which are important to the vision of the school and the needs and the priorities of the school community, plan actions towards achieving goals which are aligned to this priority, and take these actions towards improvement. As I mentioned before, Selfie is not a one-off exercise, it is a process, and it can be used to, it can be repeated, and it can be used to monitor the progress made, and also identify new priorities and adjust actions. At the end, schools who participated in the exercise, they can ask for a badge, which schools can share in the website, and staff and students can get a certificate for their participation. So this is something to acknowledge participation in the exercise, and there is a special certificate for those who do the coordination of the Selfie exercise in order to acknowledge the time they're giving for this. At this point, I would like to say that in JRC, in collaboration also with Director General of Education, Youth and Culture, we are developing another tool. It's called Selfie for Teachers, and it's a self-reflection tool which aims at supporting teachers and educators in general to develop their digital competence. You can easily find it if you type Selfie for Teacher. The tool is now piloted, and we expect to be launched next autumn. Going back to Selfie, you can sign up your school and try it. If you want to to test the tool, you can again individually, a teacher or a school coordinator or a school leader can sign up, but please make sure that you use the term demo or test, so that we know that this is a test account. In our resources page of the tool, you can find the questions which are integrated in the tool. And if you want to use a search engine to look for the tool, please don't just use Selfie, but look for Selfie EU or a Selfie European Commission. So after having presenting the tool, I would like to highlight what are the key characteristics of Selfie. And we all know that digital education is a very complex endeavor. And there are, of course, several cases where some very special individuals can make a difference. On the other hand, in order for this endeavor to be sustainable, we need collective responsibility, collective ownership, and the participation of the whole school community. And I think Selfie tries to do that, including at least some members of the school community. And that's a big difference from other tools, especially because Selfie gives a voice to the students. The second important part is the anonymity and the fact that Selfie presents aggregated data. And why I'm saying that anonymity is important, because anonymity preserves the openness and the honesty of the responses. If, for example, a school leader or a ministry can see the results of a specific school, or a school leaders can see the answers of a student or a specific teacher, then the responses have become responses anticipating the expectations of somebody else. So we're losing the whole essence of Selfie. So we're trying to preserve the anonymity, and as we said before, schools receive the report with the aggregated data. Here in JRC, we have data from the schools who are using Selfie. And again, we don't share these, we don't share these data. There is a specific data sharing agreement, and at some point we can share at a country level, but it's always aggregated data. So specific schools cannot be identified. And again, because Selfie does not have a representative sample, it is always an indication of what is happening, very general. Another key issue of the anonymity and the importance of the anonymity for Selfie is that if this anonymity is breached, then the emphasis on the understanding of the institutional identity is lost. And then we're going into directions where leaderboards, for example, become important, and comparisons, which are not the point of this exercise. The last element is that, as I said before, it is Selfie is part of a process. It's not a one-off thing. So it was mentioned earlier from the president of Eden, the Digital Education Action Plan, and we all know how digital education came into the spotlight after the recent health crisis. So I would like, from the Digital Education Action Plan, which was published at the end of September this year and describes strategic priorities and actions for digital education, I would like to highlight the importance for supporting organizations to develop their digital capacity and the development of digital competencies of individuals, students, teachers, but also of citizens. So what is the role of the school in this process? Is it just a site of implementation, or is it something more? When I was trying and thinking about when I started working in Selfie, I was trying to think of the role of the school in this process. And I was looking at the bibliography, which is rather vast. And I think I found something which we all more or less know, that in most cases, what is envisaged in terms of digital education at the policy level has a gap. There is a gap between what is envisaged at a policy level and what happens in practice. And I found this term, which I find really interesting, which is the power of the site, because the power of the site is ignored. And the site, in this case, it's the school. And the school has a very important role in giving flesh and bones in this digital education. So in this case, this happens because, number one, schools are very different between them. They have different needs, they have different contexts, but more importantly, they have different community dynamics. And on the other hand, schools have very special powers because they are sites of collective intelligence. And they are agents of knowledge creations, and they can play an active role, not just implementing what is prescribed for them, but also shaping digital education. And I think this is really nicely captured in this extract I found from the Director of Education and Skills of OECD. And on the other hand, captures this complexity of the school context, saying that even the best education minister cannot do justice to the needs of millions of students, hundreds of thousands of teachers, and tens of thousands of schools. And on the other hand, he acknowledges the dynamic and the power of schools, which we need to harness their expertise and build on the expertise of the teachers and the school leaders, and I would add of the expertise and the knowledge of the students, because when it comes to digital and the use of digital technology in education, students have a type of knowledge which is important to be considered. So how Selfie can support schools to become agents?
Ms. Giannucci, sorry to interrupt, you have 3 minutes.
Okay, I'm 2 slides before the end. Thank you. So number one, Selfie offers a structured reflection on the use of digital technologies, because we are speaking about the digital capacity of schools, and that we want schools to develop their digital capacity. But this alone does not say very many things, because you don't know where to start. But Selfie, with these 8 areas and the questions under these areas, can help schools to start thinking in a structured way of how they use these digital technologies. The other important thing is that with Selfie, we don't want to emphasize the results, because this is not an evaluation. This is the results are a basis for discussion and collaboration. And the final thing, which I think is really of critical importance, is that we aim that Selfie offers a common language for dialogue between the school community, within the school community, between schools and policy-making institutions. And I'm really happy that I am in this conference, because I see that the open schools include other stakeholders, which we all think that they are critical in the development of education, not only digital education. Very quickly, some planned actions we're we have in order to support schools' digital development with Selfie. In our resources page soon, we are going to give links to guidelines on how to create an action plan. These are created by the Spanish Ministry of Education and Erasmus Plus projects, among which is the Art for Change project. There's a MOOC on how to use Selfie and develop a digital action plan in Spanish. And there's a SPOOK, which is a self-paced open online course in English, again, created by the Spanish Ministry of Education. From next year, we plan to have a pilot with a small networks of schools, which will be supporting each other in developing their action plans. And our more long-term plan is to expand this network and find a digital space to support all the Selfie community. And finally, one thing that I would like to stress is an online event we're planning for either December or January. Create your digital action plan with Selfie. The conference organizers were very kind and very helpful in including their invitation and in expression of interest. So please use the link if you are interested. If you have taken Selfie or if you plan to take Selfie with your school, it will be a great opportunity to have your report in mind and bring your questions and your problems to discuss it with us in this event. And finally, we plan a Selfie conference in October 2021. Most probably it will be online unless the situation has changed radically. So finally, I would like to close with this phrase from Paulo Freire, because we're speaking about improvement and reflection. And I think that in order to wisely build the future, we definitely need to start understanding more clearly of what we are. And to do this, we need tools and structures and procedures. And I would like to think that Selfie can help towards this direction. Thank you very much. I hope I was on time.
Thank you, Ms. Giannucci. Perfectly on time. I'm really, self-aware when I have to notify the speakers, so I don't want to disrupt your thinking. I am also following the chat on YouTube from our participants, and I had a request for if you could share a link for the Selfie for Teachers. Mm-hmm. And also, if this tool can be used in university research.
Selfie for Teachers is now piloted. So if they are interested, I mean, we can provide the tool to find more information and contact the people who are responsible. Now, regarding research, the key here is that Selfie for Teacher, again, is the data are not shared because it's important that we keep the anonymity of the participants. So I'm not sure what the concept of research is behind, but if research involves looking at the data, number one, anonymity needs to be preserved, and we probably, if data are anonymized, it depends on the policy regarding these data. So I would strongly suggest that the participants look up Selfie for Teacher and contact the people responsible for this.
Okay. Thank you very much.
This makes sense.
I have another question. It is addressed to you, but I think I can give an answer also. Could Selfie be used as a procedure to reflect other than digital competencies?
The questions that they are there at the moment, they focus on digital competencies. Mm-hmm. However, I mentioned that there are 10 questions that the schools can create themselves. Or in case, let's say, if there is like a region which has a special interest, they can make suggestions for questions that schools can include. But the design of Selfie is on digital competencies. Of course, as I said, there's this aspect of customized questions which can support this purpose.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to add that the Open Classroom Conference 2020 is being organized in the framework of the Reflecting for Change project. We have the links on the website. And tomorrow morning, one presentation is about measuring school innovation. So measuring also openness and other aspects of the school as an organization. So this is all about the use of self-reflective tools in order to change the school and bring innovation in the teaching and learning. I mentioned again the open schooling and self-reflection tools, and I'm very happy to introduce Yair. We have worked the past 3 years, Yair Ben Horin. We have worked from Ort, Israel. We have worked the past 3 years in the framework of Open Schools for Open Societies in a great collaboration with 100 schools from Israel. And Yair will present the concept of open schooling on a national level. What is the Israeli strategy towards the open schooling? And hopefully present some of the great things that schools in Israel are doing. Yair, the floor is yours.
Okay, thanks, Nikos. I hope you can hear me, but I cannot share my screen, so you need to allow me to share my screen, I guess. Okay, something is happening here. Okay, can you see the screen now?
Yes, perfectly. Thank you.
Okay. Is it the presentation screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So thank you very much for your warm presentation. I'm very happy to be here. And the first thing I would like to tell you is about the school in Sakhnin. Here you can see Sakhnin. This is a small town in the north of Israel. And if you go to the outskirts of this town, you can find pretty easily large piles of waste, illegally dumped waste, scattered all around the green landscapes and polluting the whole area. This is mostly construction waste, but also domestic waste. And the students in one of the middle schools in Sakhnin that we worked with, they decided to address this local environmental issue. So the school contacted the sanitary department in the municipality of Sakhnin, and they sent some experts that came to school and gave lectures to the students. And then the students wanted to raise the awareness of the local community to this problem. So they started a campaign in order to encourage the general public to take active action. They also conducted surveys concerning the amount of domestic waste that was produced by each household. And they also carried out recycling workshops, both with their families and in their school, as you can see here in these pictures. Next, the students mapped the garbage piles. They used a drone for that, like you can see here. And they worked in groups. Each group was responsible for collecting the data in one section of the whole area. And by using professional image processing software and online maps, the students were able not only to locate piles and to pinpoint them on the map, but also they could calculate the volume of each pile. And the final product of this project was a report that the students prepared with all the data, including how many trucks were needed in order to clean the whole area. And so they handed this report to the municipality, and they came and removed at least most of the waste. Okay, so of course this project in Sakhnin is a wonderful example of the OSO schooling approach, the open schooling approach, I'm sorry. It shows the collaboration between schools and the community and the way schools can make a significant impact on society. Indeed, this was a part of the OSOS project already introduced earlier, Open Schools for Open Societies, which of course is a Horizon 2020 European project. And the aim of the OSOS project was to promote the open schooling approach in schools all around the world. And indeed, as you can see here on the map, over 1,000 schools participated in this project, and almost 100 of them were Israeli schools. So in this talk, I would like to propose some tips on how you can use and benefit from this approach in your own schools, as teachers, as principals, etc. These tips are of course, based to a large extent on our 3-year experience in the OSOS project. Okay, but first, maybe a few words about the organization I'm coming from, Ort Israel. This is the largest educational network in Israel. We have 245 schools all over the country, located in 60 municipalities and local councils. And Ort Israel was the national coordinator of the OSOS project in Israel. And so we encourage schools around the country to engage in open schooling activities and projects. And I guess this is what I'm encouraging you to do as well here with all of you. So let's try to better understand what is open schooling from the practical side maybe, and how you can promote it in your schools. When we think of schools, we usually consider them to be something distant from reality. For many years, the dominant line of thought in education was to see schools as islands, isolated from the world around them. Educators wanted students to learn in optimal conditions, and schools were designed to be cleaner, more cultural, free from the outside world. We can find traces of this notion in several aspects in education. For instance, in terms of the content or what we teach our students. For decades, students all over the world are having mathematics lessons and history lessons and literature and science and geography. I mean, they learn everything separately. However, while schools look like this, real life looks more like this, right? A bit more messier. But it's not just the what, it's also about the how we teach our students. In many cases, we are constantly using out-of-date methodologies. We provide students with the wrong skills and tools that are no longer relevant to the world in which they grow. What about the openness of schools? To what extent schools open their gates to the community in a significant way, I mean, with a strong and meaningful connection? Do we even think that schools should do that, or we're just okay with this separation? Okay, I wanted to show you again this slide with these 3 icons, especially the one in the middle. Because, you know, we use such icons because they depict something that enable us to immediately grasp a certain concept. So when I created this slide, I searched for such icons on Google Photo Search. And when you try and type in Google school icon, you pretty much get many versions of this. Yeah? One building with closed walls and a clock. Like that. I don't know why they always put a clock up there. And when you look at these icons, you immediately understand that this is a school. So this little exercise tells us that this is how we perceive schools most of the time. And this is exactly the kind of thinking that the open schooling approach is trying to reshape. According to this approach, we need to bring the outside world to this classroom and take the students to the outside world. And what I would like to emphasize today is that basically it can be achieved by directing your work in 2 opposite directions, working with the community and working for the community. Just like mentioned, of course, by Ms. Schipoff earlier. So starting with ways to work for the community. When you look for a subject for your students' next projects, or when you want to make your regular curriculum more relevant, try to focus on a subject that is related to your community. Try to identify its needs and address those needs. Then once the students achieve results, when they gain knowledge or draw certain conclusions, they should transfer them to the community, for instance, by making a campaign or throwing a special event for the public, creating a designated website, and so on. Besides the benefit in helping their own community, focusing on community needs usually means that the students work and investigate their unique local surroundings. And so they become more acquainted with their neighborhood and more involved with their life of their neighbors. We saw it, of course, in the example of Sakhnin, when the students focused on a significant environmental challenge that was strongly related to the whole community, right? So in this sense, besides making them better students, open schooling makes them better citizens. Okay, so we talked about working for the community. Now let's talk about ways for working with the community. That's the other way around. So by working with the community, I mean creating effective partnerships with stakeholders outside your school. These are stakeholders that we usually don't see them as active partners in educational processes. So you can reach family members, you can collaborate with other schools, you can reach research institutions and people from industries, science and cultural centers, social organizations, different departments of the municipality, and other stakeholders you can think of course. Okay, so let's unfold this now, starting with these types of stakeholders. These can help you with experts, for example, that give lectures for the students, enabling them to acquire knowledge. They can help also by hosting students. Students can go and visit labs, factories, science centers, and so on. And they can provide experts that will serve as mentors in project-based learning processes or as judges in final contests and other special events. It can also work, by the way, with university students who come and tutor the younger students at school. And getting to collaborate with such stakeholders might actually be easier to achieve than it might look like. For example, more and more companies demonstrate, corporate social responsibility. They feel obliged to contribute to the community, and they allocate some resources for that. There are many voluntary associations and nonprofit organizations that will be willing to help by contributing their knowledge and sometimes even more than just their knowledge. So you can take advantage of that. These are pictures of the activities in Kiryat Ono in the center of Israel. In this project, the students invented technological products to assist people with disabilities in their daily life. So the school contacted an organization that brought some people who could help the students with this work. Some experts gave lectures, like the one in the bigger image you can see here in the middle. To the right, we have someone with a visual impairment and someone with in a wheelchair, helping and guiding the students with their inventions. So all in all, it was a very nice project indeed. Okay, open schooling means that you can collaborate in meaningful ways with other schools too. You can connect, for example, with other schools to work as twin schools. That is, you can collaborate in certain activities, sharing data and results with them in a way that will enrich the learning of the students of both schools. Students teach students. Okay, this is an idea I like very much. Basically, it means that you teach your students something, making some activities with them, and then they go as teachers this time to other schools and teach the same thing to other students, usually younger students. This way, the students benefit twice. First when they learn something as students, and then when they prepare themselves to teach others. A wonderful example of this kind of practice was a project in, it was a middle school students in Kiryat Motzkin. It's a city on the shore of the Mediterranean. The students had a special hackathon event where they worked in groups to learn about some challenges of space habitation. And they needed to come up with some solutions to these challenges. Then after this event, a few weeks later, they went to a different school. This time it was a primary school, and they guided 5th and 6th graders in a similar event like the one they did. So you can see them here wearing blue shirts. Now, put yourself in those kids' shoes. Imagine what those older students felt during this experience and what skills they acquired. Interacting with other younger students, presenting to audience, managing the work of younger students and keeping their time. With all the responsibility it puts on them. So this was a very unique and meaningful experience for them. Okay, last but not least, how to open your school to the students, parents, and families. Of course, every student's parents are involved in school to some extent. But for too many parents, it comes down to asking their children maybe, how was their school today? And going through their school certificate 2 or 3 times a year. However, parents can be part of the educational process itself. Students can learn together with their families by taking home some experiments that are relevant to their learning subjects. Such interactions can also be used for working with the family to make a change, like the kids in Sakhnin, right, who conducted surveys with their families and talked to them about ways how they can reduce their own domestic garbage, make change in your family. And finally, many times students' families can help schools make the connection with the community. And this is a very nice idea, because if you have 30 students in your class, then you have a direct connection to 30 families. Now, one of the students' parents may be a researcher in the university. Another one may be working in some social organization, and yet another one may have a role in the city council or in another school. In this case, parents will be keen to contribute, and they will be able to help you in making the first contact with those stakeholders. And we did it a couple of times in Israeli projects. Okay, so I hope that by now you understand that open schooling should essentially be considered as this bidirectional process. And this is why I like to use the solar system as an analogy for the relations between the schools and the other parts of the community, because it shows how, from the one hand, the school attracts different factors and is contributed by them. And from the other hand, the school is like a sun that, sends its light and energy to all directions, enabling the community to enjoy and to prosper by it. But of course, we cannot ignore in this talk the vast changes that are occurring in our world these days as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, 5 minutes.
Yes, no problem. So how can we practice open schooling while the whole world seems to be shutting down, right? Well, we can take advantage of the growing use in technology in education that is happening these days due to the need for distant learning. And also Dr. Kusina talked about this. This really has the potential of making things much, much easier for schools in collaborating with other stakeholders. And we should take advantage of that. For example, you can have online lectures or even virtual school trips. This will save the whole operation of taking the students out from the school to a distant lab or a factory. It sometimes takes a lot of effort and resources. So we can save this now. And of course, there are many learning activities for the community that can be performed outside in the open air, in the local park or in a garden, for example. Or again, if we take an example from the school in Sakhnin, where the students went outdoors to operate a drone, and it was also in small groups. So no problem there during Corona times. And this was a project that was done before the Corona. So here's a quick example of a virtual school trip. We have several schools in Israel that learn throughout the year about the heart. So we contacted Biosense Webster. This is a high-tech company that develops innovative catheters for 3D mapping of the heart. So we wanted to arrange several school trips to the company's headquarters in Israel. And so the students would be able to see the technology and, talk with some developers and researchers, etc. And then came COVID-19, and there was no longer a chance to carry out such visits. And so we organized a special online event with lectures given by the company's experts, with time for students to ask them questions in the chat or using their microphones. And even with a live demonstration of the technological system they built, like this is what you see here in the short video clip. Okay, so this can be done too during COVID-19 era. Okay, so the last tip I want to give you, and this is Nico's also my last slide. The last tip I want to give you is actually the most important one, I think. If you want to make your school a little more open, try to change your heart, change your mindset, and start looking around you. I showed you several open schooling examples from the OSUS project in Israel. In this project, as I said, we worked with almost 100 schools in Israel, and all of them made some progress towards open schooling. Now, this was made possible mainly by looking consciously for ways and opportunities to collaborate with the community. So this is a tip for you. Whenever you plan a new educational program or a project, think, how can I open them to the community? Look for stakeholders that are relevant to your subject and think how you can collaborate with those stakeholders. And many times you'll be amazed how simple it can be. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Yair. The examples of the Israeli schools were exceptional. I'm very glad that we had the opportunity to showcase your work. And I don't have any questions from the chat on YouTube. I am just going to share one comment. It is a really out-of-the-box perception of schooling. Thank you. So, okay.
We need it these days.
Short to the point.
Yes.
Thank you so much. The last but not least, in our company of speakers tonight is Professor Henriksen for the University of Copenhagen, Denmark. We had some examples of different of open schooling examples from one country with different themes. Now we will have an example of open schooling on a European level on a specific theme, how schools can act as sites for food system transformation. Professor Henriksen, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I will try. I can also share my screen. Yes. Does it work? Can you see it?
Yes, without problem.
Okay. Yes. Thank you for the introduction.
Sorry to interrupt you. We have the same problem. You have something else open. you have to. We have some black boxes on the presentation, so you try to move them around.
Okay. This one.
Again, it's the windows of the Zoom.
Yes.
Is it better now?
Not yet.
Okay, I did try to move them. They have been moved on my screen actually. Is it better now?
No.
No, maybe if you change the slide, it will be cleaner.
Okay. Let me see. What about now? Is it better?
Try to change a slide in order to see, because it seems that there are a lot of small boxes now open.
Okay, I would rather not change the slide, because then
okay.
I will just try to stop sharing and then sharing again, maybe.
Yes.
Maybe that's a better option here. Okay, I think I have. Okay, let me just try. Yeah, we'll try again. I think having a little bit of difficulties here with my computer right now. I'm trying to close some other windows.
Okay.
No, I can't share it. Do you know what? I think I would actually have to try to log out again, because the Zoom is behaving a bit strange right now.
Okay, if you think that this will
just a moment. Yeah, I will go back to the link shortly.
Okay, so sorry for the interruption. You know, we live in challenging times, and we had experience with organizing the Open Classroom conference in physical, let's say, here in the premises in the conference room. It was not easy to organize, because we were offering drinks and coffee and snacks, which now we had the opportunity to not do that. But the challenges change as the problems change. So we live in uncertain times. We don't know what the next week has for us. So some small inconveniences with the technical solutions are always on the program. I hope.
But now we can see and feel how teachers all around the world feel when they try, you know, some of them maybe for the first time to cope with such technicalities and challenges, new type of challenges. And maybe I think Dr. Cosina mentioned it, that one of the, you know, the greatest advantages of this, if we can say, of this COVID-19 pandemic is that everyone in each school has to deal with, to address these challenges.
Exactly. I have a lot of friends, teacher friends, that it's very frustrating times. Okay, Professor Henriksen has rejoined the group, and
yes.
Okay, we have these two.
Yes, can you see the screen now?
Yes, but we still have in the middle.
Okay.
You know, the title black box.
Okay, I simply cannot move it.
Okay, we will have to do with that.
I mean, it seems like I cannot move this.
Okay, well, please go on, and we will have to do with.
It's very strange.
It is indeed.
So you see a big black box in the middle?
Yes. Right below the title. But in the next slides, we can please try to.
Okay, I will start. Okay, great. So thanks for the introduction. I am the coordinator of the Food Shift 2030 project that features a multi-stakeholder consortium of 30 partners, including 7 municipalities, local governments, 8 non-governmental organizations, 9 small and medium enterprises, and then 7 universities and research institutions. So together in this project, we're working on transforming the European food system towards a low carbon, circular future, including a shift to less meat and more plant-based diets. So today I'm then going to talk about schools as sites for this food system transformation. So why do we need a food system transformation, and what role do schools have to play in this food system transformation? So our house is on fire, and our food is killing us. And we have been disconnected from the land that feeds us. With current projections in a business as usual scenario, where we are not doing anything to limit global greenhouse gas emissions, we're looking forward to like 4 degrees higher temperature in 2100. Also, currently 70% of all deaths in Europe can be ascribed to non-communicable diseases that are somehow also affected by what we eat and how much we eat. Finally, whereas GDP per capita in urban regions is around 24% higher in the EU average, then the GDP per capita in rural regions is 30% lower than the EU average. So with all these actions, we cannot delay action. We have to act now. And also the youth has called upon us to act. We urgently need a green transition of our society. And we also need and urgently need a transformation of our food system. So recent research, including the report last year from the Eat Lancet Commission, clearly demonstrate that healthy food is primarily plant-based food, and that also plant-based food has lower greenhouse gas emissions. Furthermore, we have several studies showing also that more localized food systems may increase resilience and strengthen urban-rural cohesion. And we can add to that now, especially probably also during COVID-19. So at the same youth that has called upon us to act, they are absolutely central for this transformation of the food system to a healthier, more plant-based and localized food system. Because they're the ones who must live with our actions or inaction. They are the ones who rightly demand a change, and they are the ones that we should empower to make informed decisions about their own food consumption, and they are the ones we should empower to influence the way that food is produced, distributed, and recycled in the food system. And the key to empower our children is through education. We need to empower our children to transform the food system by eating healthy food, reducing food waste, and cooking with plants. In the Food Shift 2030 project, we are establishing these Food Shift Accelerator Labs as open innovation living labs, featuring multidisciplinary collaboration between all the food system stakeholders. And the Food Shift Accelerator Labs, they have a strong focus on citizen empowerment. Besides focusing on citizen empowerment, each of the labs, they have defined an innovation focus and outlined a number of relevant innovation actions covering 10 major themes and addressing 11 of the SDGs. So as you can see here, there are several of the labs that are working on children and youth education. And I would like to give you some concrete examples of innovation actions from our partners in the Greater Athens Lab, the Avignon Lab, and the Greater Copenhagen Lab that are focusing on empowering children to eat healthy food, reduce food waste, and cook with plants. In Greater Athens, our partner Eleno Germanaki Agogi have done a project on healthy diet as a part of the EU project Big Data Against Childhood Obesity. In this project, the students are learning about nutrition and diet by using a variety of educational resources as the basis of a discussion about nutrition and modern nutrition habits. They visit the Museum of Experiments to learn about how important the right diet is and how food travels in your body. Furthermore, an expert visits the school to discuss with the children about the right diet and the diet they are already following. The children also become young journalists and prepare their own questions for an interview with nutritionists and professional chefs. And they reflect on their personal dietary habits. And they also investigate their peers' dietary habits. And finally, they also develop an observation sheet where each of the students record the advertisements that they observe during the 2 weeks, and that they record whether these advertisements promote healthy or unhealthy food. This is just one example of how the schools can be used in the food system transformation. Another example comes from our other lab in Avignon. In Avignon, the municipality of Avignon have worked on reducing food waste in the public school canteens. In the public schools, around 650,000 to 680,000 meals are served every year. And between 3,500 and 4,500 meals are served every day in 37 canteens. And there have been previously really big problems with food waste. So the municipality of Avignon have decided to provide a challenge for the schools. The challenge was to reduce the amount of food waste. So what they did was ask the schools to weigh the food waste 4 times per year. The students are then sorting, weighing, and registering the amount of daily food waste. And then after this period, the winner is awarded a prize given by the mayor. The final example I have here is from the municipality of Copenhagen. The municipality of Copenhagen, they have signed this good food policy declaration last year. So they have now committed to shift to more plant-based diets. So I would like to present a project that we have done in conjunction with a climate kick project called Shifting Urban Diets, led by the EAT Foundation. So in connection with this project, students from our university, from a course called Climate Solutions, they were working as consultants for 3 schools in the municipality of Copenhagen. That's the schools Engskolen, Kalvebod-Fællet, and Rådmandgade Skole. They are all public schools, and they have integrated food schools located in and funded by the municipality of Copenhagen. So these 3 food schools, they are applying principles that were used also for the Copenhagen House of Food to facilitate an organic transition in public kitchens across several municipalities in Denmark. And by applying these principles, we have been able to drive significant change through specifying tender requirements for public food procurement and providing capacity building for kitchen workers in the public institutions. So some of these things have already been implementing. So by including this requirement to supply organic food in the request for tenders, and working together with the kitchens on an organic transition, the share of organic food in the public kitchens have been increased from 60% in 2007 to more than 90% in 2018. And the kitchen workers are also reporting better satisfaction in their job. So the municipality of Copenhagen, they have 60 public schools, and in 15 of these schools, there is a local kitchen at the school, where students are acquiring food skills by learning the practical side of cooking, nutrition, health, and hygiene, and then they're actually also themselves contributing actively to the preparation of lunch meals for their fellow students. The menu is developed by the kitchen staff on a weekly basis, and it's considering the seasonal availability, and it's considering input from the students also assisting in the kitchen in the previous week. 80 to 90% of the students in the food schools are eating lunch from the food schools. So the new actions we were then implementing in these schools were that these 3 food schools we're working with were invited to join a pilot project on implementing an adapted version of the Eat Lancet Planetary Health Diet. In this project, we had 3 groups of students working on as consultants. First, they established a baseline of the food-related greenhouse gas emissions for each of the 4 food schools, applying the Cool Food Pledge calculator from WI, and then also our own database from Copenhagen. And second, they worked together with the chefs at the food schools to develop an example of a 2-week menu based on the Eat Lancet Planetary Health Diet, but adapted to the official Danish dietary guidelines and also the preference of each of the schools. And third, they assessed the emission savings by implementing the Planetary Health Diet. So the results from this study showed that it was able to reduce actually 22% of the greenhouse gas emissions by reducing meat to once a week, to 31% by reducing, having no beef in the menu, 45% reduction with only vegetarian food, and 60% reduction if the food was both 100% vegan and also local food from Denmark. In this project, they also worked on communication. So, for example, the students at the university provided educational cartoons for the students in the schools. Here's a nice example called Veggie Wars with Darth T-Bone and Obi-Wan Kohlrabi. We thought this example was quite funny. So there is a lot going on in the schools in Europe, in Greece, in Avignon, and in Copenhagen. And what are we then looking for in the future? I think we are looking at a quite bright future if we're looking at the success of this food system transformation. We can see the consumers, the younger consumers. We just had a recent study here in Denmark showing that basically consumers that are below 35 years, more than 1/4 of these students, more than 25 of these consumers are actually defining themselves as flexitarians now, which means that they eat meat, but maybe only once a week. This is for the younger generation. If we look for the even younger generation, Generation Z, and maybe even Generation Alpha that these children belong to, then I'm sure that this is a trend that is really increasing. So what we can do is, of course, empower these children to take an active part in this food system transition, to learn about food, to learn what is healthy food and how the food system works. I realized that we are already above time now. So what I just wanted to say here towards the end is that there is a parallel event going on here on Saturday, organized by EA in connection with some of our other Food Shift Accelerator Labs. So it will start at 11 to 13, where you will be able to hear in much more detail about some of these different initiatives in our Food Shift Accelerator Labs and across Europe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Christensen. I didn't say something, my usual 5 minutes left because you started later. So
okay,
okay, but thank you for keeping it in time. This concludes our opening session. Again, it was my honor, and I really would like to thank each and every one of you. Sandra Kuchina-Softic, Sylvia Schipoff, Nicoletta Iannucciu, Yain Ben-Horin, Christian Hendriksen, for your participation, for being here with us. A lot of you are secluded in your home, so I think you didn't have any other option, but it worked fine for us. Thank you again. Thank you to our participants in YouTube channel. The conference continues tomorrow morning with a key speech by Dr. Samson from the University of Piraeus, and then we have different sessions with different presentations and workshops. You can follow them on our YouTube channel. And of course, as Professor Henriksen said, we have the parallel event, which starts at 11 CET. Again, thank you very, very much. I cannot stress my pleasure with being with you, even digitally. See you tomorrow. Keep safe. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you very much. Bye-bye. Καλό βράδυ.
Καλό βράδυ.